He came from Wakanda, but no tribe knew his name. Not a hero, not a villain, just a weapon forged in silence. The moment he stepped into New York, Wolverine charged. And in 0.4 seconds, Logan was dead, skull cracked, claws unraised. The Avengers didn't even have time to say his name. Wakanda denies his existence. The US declared war in panic. But one camera caught everything, and it was already too late. Because what killed Wolverine wasn't alien, it was human. The first sign wasn't the sound, it was the silence. A Central Park pigeon froze mid-flight and dropped straight to the ground. Then another, and another. A perfect circle of stillness began to spread, 30 feet wide, rippling like heat, but cold as death. Wolverine was already tracking it. He didn't call the X-Men, didn't alert the Avengers. Whatever this was, it hit a nerve buried deep inside him, older than Canada, older than Weapon X, older than even the first time he felt adamantium bonding to his bones. He stepped off the sidewalk and followed the ripple like a bloodhound, his boots crunching glass from a car window that had just shattered by itself. The air buzzed. Not electricity, not magic, something else, something inside his skull. He lit a cigar without looking down and kept walking. No shadows, no wind, no scent. That's what worried him. No scent meant no life. Central Park was clearing out fast. People running, kids crying, dogs pulling away from owners. One teenage girl held her phone up, live streaming, whispering, "He's glowing. Oh my God, he's actually glowing." Logan's eyes narrowed. The thing stood in the center of the Great Lawn, 6'4", jet black skin with silver veins pulsing under it like liquid metal. No clothes, no scars, no genitals, not even hair, but across its chest, a symbol burned into its skin. The Wakandan royal seal worked. The killer wasn't standing still. It was hovering. Microscopic particles floated around it like reverse rain. Light bent near it, warping the sky. The trees leaned away from it, as if their roots could feel death dripping into the dirt. Wolverine didn't hesitate. He flicked the cigar, unsheathed his claws with a metallic snick that echoed too loud in the dead air, and sprinted straight toward it. 10 steps in, he was already closing the distance. 5 more, and his claws were up. But then everything blinked. Not him, not the killer, the world. The girl's live stream caught it. Logan raised his claws, mouth open to roar, then fell backward, like he'd been hit by a ghost. No visible movement from the alien, no sound, no energy blast, just silence. Blood pooled from the back of Logan's skull. His arms were still frozen mid-swing. The claws never made contact. Dead. No fight. No last words. Just Wolverine, the immortal, dead before the first punch. The girl screamed. The stream cut out. 47 seconds later, Avengers Tower picked up a vibranium signature flaring in Manhattan and locked the entire island into red alert. 48 seconds later, Nick Fury was already rerouting satellites from space, whispering the same word under his breath. Wakanda. Black Panther stood in the war room in Wakanda, staring at the footage with a clenched jaw. Beside him, Shuri pulled up energy readings. "This doesn't make sense," she whispered. "This isn't possible. That seal on its chest, no one uses that. That's from..." She stopped herself. Okoye turned. "From where?" Shuri hesitated. T'Challa didn't. "From the pit, under the first temple, where they buried the project." No one spoke. Outside the palace, the dome protecting Wakanda trembled slightly, not from an attack, but from within. A vibration. Something old. Something waking. T'Challa turned toward his sister. "You said the pit was sealed." "It was," she whispered. "Then how did it get out?" Back in Manhattan, Tony Stark was already descending in the latest Iron Man armor, Mark XLIV, preloaded with vibranium absorption tech, a failsafe from his last trip to Wakanda. Hovering above Central Park, he scanned the field. Logan's body had vanished. Not carried, not moved, disintegrated. No ash, just a residue. Melted adamantium molecules soaked into the grass. That wasn't death. That was erasure. Tony hovered lower. His HUD pinged a vibration in the air, almost like a hum, but every attempt to match the frequency failed. Then his system went black. Complete power shut down. Mid-air, he dropped like a stone, bracing for impact. But before he hit the ground, something caught him. Not arms. Gravity. Bent gravity. Curved upward like a spoon. Then it stopped. Tony hovered mid-air, upside down, as the killer turned to face him for the first time. No eyes. Just glowing sockets, scanning. And then a whisper. It didn't come from the killer's mouth. It came through the suit. Through Tony's bones. You used the child. And then forgot. Tony didn't understand. What child? But the killer had already turned away, floating toward Fifth Avenue. Every screen on Stark's HUD restarted, except the kill switch. It was offline. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't just Wakandan. It was something they made. Back when Wakanda was still hidden. Back when the royal family had secrets that even the Panther god rejected. Something no one talked about. Something buried. Tony stood up as his suit rebooted. Friday, initiate lockdown. Global alert. This isn't just an invasion. This is internal. Friday's voice trembled. Sir, it's already broadcasting. Broadcasting what? The girl's footage. Wolverine's death. It's everywhere. Cut it. I can't. Why not? Because it's not coming from Earth. Up above, orbiting satellites blinked out one by one, taken over by a single pulse signal. And that signal played one frame on every hacked screen across Earth. Wolverine, mid-run, claws up, dead. Below it, a single symbol, half the Wakandan seal, half something no one recognized. And beneath that, 2 words, etched in blood-red Wakandan script. He returns. The body never made it to the morgue. 1 second, Wolverine was lying in a pool of blood. The next, it was just gone. Not stolen. Not vaporized. Something in the earth beneath him swallowed what was left. Grass where he died turned to obsidian, black glass, pulsing with energy no Stark sensor could trace. The Avengers went dark. No tweets, no press, just code red. Stark locked down Manhattan under an emergency protocol he hadn't used since the first alien invasion. S.H.I.E.L.D. dispatched drones, but none returned. All signals inside Central Park blacked out the second they crossed that obsidian radius. Meanwhile, the live stream of Logan's death kept spreading, faster than the team could stop it. 10,000 reposts in 10 minutes. TikTok, Reddit, Telegram. Then it hit the news. Mutant Wolverine dies in silent alien attack. Source, Wakandan origin. Back in Wakanda, T'Challa stood in the royal archives, eyes fixed on a scroll older than the throne itself. He didn't blink as he read the words aloud, each syllable heavy. Kifonkia, Mwisho Wahai, Wakati Wakalipa, Tale of Death, End of Life, Time to Repay. Shuri stepped forward. That's not just Wakandan, she said. It's old Wakandan, the language from before Bast. She ran her fingers across the scroll. This doesn't belong to our history. T'Challa looked up. That's because it's not ours. In New York, the killer kept walking. No panic, no sprint. Just a slow, steady path down Fifth Avenue, through traffic, through steel, through glass. Cars crushed themselves trying to get away. Police set up barriers, but every bullet turned to dust before it left the barrel. The alien never touched them. It didn't need to. Energy rippled in a wave 10 feet ahead of its body. Warping time, bending motion. It moved like a black hole, walking upright. Falcon dove from above, wings locked, targeting systems hot. Do not engage. Tony's voice echoed in his comm. Too late, Sam said. He fired EMP spikes, Stark design, top tier. They hit the air and vanished mid-flight. Then the wind reversed. Falcon's wings buckled. Not torn, erased. He dropped like a stone, slamming into a parked SUV hard enough to knock him unconscious. Bones shattered, suit offline, and the killer didn't even look up. Thor arrived 10 seconds later. Lightning cracked through the skyline. Mjolnir spiraled down and slammed into the ground, but didn't reach its mark. The moment it entered the obsidian radius, it stopped. Frozen. Mid-air. Thor's brow furrowed. "You halt the hammer?" The killer turned, and for the first time, it moved its mouth. No words came out, just a pulse, a vibration that hit Thor's skull like a scream underwater. He roared and called Mjolnir again. This time, it came and crashed into his palm like thunder. Thor charged. Face the gods, shadow spawn. The killer blinked. Thor vanished. Not killed, not wounded, just gone, like a file deleted from existence. No echo, no blood, no aftershock, just silence where the god had stood. Back in Wakanda, Shuri's lab went haywire. Energy spikes, dimensional fractures. One machine began scanning for reality-level interference. Then she saw it, a flash of red, just for a moment. Not on Earth, not even in this dimension. A pocket, a loop, a prison, and inside that prison, Thor, suspended mid-roar, trapped in a single second, repeating itself over and over. It wasn't a weapon, it was containment. Shuri whispered, "It's not killing them, it's isolating them, removing their possibility." Nick Fury stood at the edge of the projection, arms folded. "We've seen something like this before." Shuri turned. "No, we haven't." Fury raised one eyebrow. "Not us, but Logan did." He dropped a file on the table. Project Kifo, Black Ops, Canada, pre-X-Men. Back when Logan was still running recon for clandestine teams. The file showed footage, grainy VHS, of a crater filled with twisted bodies and no signs of trauma. No fire, no blood, just clean absence. And one child in the center, eyes glowing silver, black skin, same symbol on his chest. Shuri's hand trembled. "They made this in Canada." Fury shook his head. "No, they found him, buried under the ice. Thought he was dead." She flipped through the pages. Genetic testing, vibranium strands, Martian cell structure, and Wakandan DNA. One name circled, Project Bastard. Tony's voice crackled through the comms. "We've got a problem. He's inside Avengers Tower." Shuri's breath caught. "How?" He walked through the front gate. The security systems didn't fire. Every defense system froze. Hawkeye fired 3 arrows, explosive tipped. They never left the bow. He blinked. The string was still drawn. The arrows were still knocked. But he couldn't release. Like time had forgotten him. The killer walked past, toward the main vault, where the Infinity Shard was kept. One leftover piece from the broken timeline, still glowing, still active. Tony launched down the tower in Mark XLIV, boots burning, repulsors hot. He hit the obsidian radius and braced for shutdown, but it didn't come. Instead, something else happened. The killer stopped, and for the first time, spoke. "You remember." Tony froze. Remember what? The prototype, the vault, the day Wakanda traded gods for ghosts. The killer reached out a hand, not to attack, but to touch the shard. Tony fired. The blast hit, dead center. A shockwave ripped through the vault, glass exploded, concrete warped. But the killer still stood, unmoved, unharmed, eyes locked with Stark's. Then it whispered, "I will return them all to silence," and vanished. No light, no portal, just gone. Tony collapsed to one knee. His HUD glitched. In the upper corner of the screen, a system message. Wolverine protocol activated. The moment the killer vanished, every system in Avengers Tower screamed back to life. Stark's armor rebooted in reverse. Lights flickered. Gravity settled. The shard, the leftover fragment of the fractured infinity timeline, was gone. But the air still trembled. Not from energy, from memory. Tony limped to the vault's edge, coughing blood. His armor was scorched at the chest. Not from impact, there had been none, but from pressure. Like reality itself had been pressed in, bent around him. On his HUD, the alert glowed in red. Wolverine protocol activated. He hadn't seen that name in years. Not since Logan asked him, no, demanded that the file stay buried. "If I die suddenly," Logan had said, "don't chase the thing that did it. Chase the reason I knew it would." Below the vault, S.H.I.E.L.D. agents scrambled. Hawkeye was frozen mid-draw. Captain Marvel was inbound from orbit. But Tony knew something no one else did. This wasn't a fight anymore. It was a rewind. Deep in Logan's old safe house, hidden beneath 5 feet of Canadian ice, a black box unlocked itself. No power, no input, just a chain reaction coded into bone. Inside one file, a voice memo. Wolverine's voice crackled out, raspy and urgent. "If you're hearing this, I'm already dead. And the thing that killed me ain't from Wakanda. Not really. It's older. We found it in '83. Thought it was a mutant kid frozen in ice. But it wasn't sleep. It was thinking." Tony stared at the feed as the message continued. "We kept him underground. I tried to stop the experiments, but the suits were too hungry. Called it Project Kifo. Said it was going to be the weapon to end wars. But I saw it look at me once. Just once. And I swear to God, Stark, it didn't see me. It saw everything I've ever been." A second file auto-opened. Shuri's voice, younger, unfiltered, panicked. "This is Princess Shuri. If this gets out, Wakanda will fall. Project Kifo was never authorized by my brother. It was born from something before our time. Something beneath Mount Bashenga. We used vibranium to stabilize its form, but we couldn't kill it." Back in the present, Shuri stood in her lab, eyes wide, face pale. The readings weren't stable. The killer hadn't just vanished, it had multiplied. 12 new vibranium pulses had erupted across the planet. Different continents. Same energy, same seal. Chala entered silently. He didn't ask for confirmation. He already knew. "It's activating the rest." Shuri whispered, "There were more." He nodded. 17 prototypes. Only one survived initial integration. We buried the rest in containment fields powered by the Earth's magnetic poles. She stared at the data. All of them are waking. In Arizona, a biker screamed as a canyon wall opened and a silver-skinned figure walked through fire. In the Arctic, a glacier shattered as a being with no mouth and no eyes hovered from beneath the ice, vibrating the air into shrapnel. In Tokyo, a museum's floor split open beneath ancient Wakandan steel, and something crawled out. Something with 4 arms, each inscribed with a different tribal code. The Avengers couldn't respond fast enough. Thor was still trapped in the loop. Wolverine was gone. Falcon was hospitalized with broken ribs and silence trauma. And the killer, the first one, was moving again. This time toward Wakanda. Chala stepped into the temple's deepest chamber. He hadn't returned here in years. Not since the incident. He knelt before the sealed gate of the first pit and placed his palm on the stone. It glowed. The doors opened, and the air hissed with a sound not heard in centuries. Okoye stood guard at the entrance. "You said we'd never open it again." "I lied," Chala said softly. The vault inside was empty. No armor, no chains, just a floating orb, a memory keeper. Only royalty could activate it. He touched it, and the room came alive with the past. An ancient council stood in hologram. Their faces were covered. One elder spoke. "We could not kill the Kifo, so we divided it." Another voice, "Split the code. Scatter it. Sleep it." Another, "One day it will remember, and when it does, Wakanda must choose." Shuri watched, horrified. Choose what? The hologram ended, and the killer appeared behind them. No sound, no warning. He stood at the edge of the chamber, eyes glowing, body cracked with molten vibranium lines. But something was different. He looked damaged, staggering, like he had split himself too far. Chala faced him. "You were not meant to awaken." The killer stared. "I was meant to finish." Shuri raised her gauntlet, charging a sonic blast. But Chala lowered her arm. "Don't. He didn't come to fight." The killer nodded slowly. "I came to return it." Chala stepped forward. "Return what?" The killer opened his chest. Literally, flesh folded back, and inside was Wolverine's dog tag. Untouched, untarnished, blood still fresh. The killer placed it at Chalia's feet and said a single word: "Justice." Then he collapsed. All power vanished. No pulse, no glow, just silence, like the world exhaled. But Shuri's sensors were still blinking. "Something's wrong," she said. "He didn't die. He transferred." Transferred what? She scanned the air. The memory. Outside Wakanda, satellites picked up seismic spikes across the globe. Every buried prototype was activating faster now, like a hive. And Logan's name kept appearing in the code. Project Kifo wasn't built to kill him. It was built to learn from him. What made Logan impossible to kill? His rage? His healing? No, his memory. Now they all had it. The killer's body hadn't moved in minutes. But Wakanda's soil refused to accept it. It lay still on the obsidian floor beneath the Panther Temple, arms spread, chest cracked open like a shell. Vibranium veins pulsed faintly along its ribcage, flickering. Not dead, not alive, just suspended. Shuri watched the readings. They didn't show decay. They showed upload. "His mind isn't in there anymore," she said. Chala stood beside her. "Then where is it?" The hologram on her wrist glitched once, then stabilized, a 3D model of Earth flashing with red markers. 12 activated zones. One by one, the pulses aligned, syncing to a rhythm buried in the magnetic poles. "They're forming a hive," she said, and this one was the seed. Across the globe, the other Kifo prototypes were no longer dormant. In the Australian outback, lightning rained upward. In Brazil, the Amazon parted for something walking on no legs, yet carving miles into the forest floor. In Egypt, pyramids cracked open, not from outside, but from within. And in each location a scent. Faint. Primal. Wolverine scent. Except Logan had never been to most of these places. Which meant only one thing. His memory had. Tony Stark was already building a map of every location Wolverine ever operated in. Black Ops files. Weapon X missions. Mutant wars. Each place was a scar. And now, each scar was bleeding again. Captain Marvel returned from orbit, hovering over Wakanda's dome like a second sun. "I tracked one to the upper atmosphere," she said. "It didn't flinch at my blasts. It didn't even register heat. But it said something." Shuri looked up. "What?" Carol floated down slowly. "It said, 'I am not the enemy. I am the echo.'" Shuri turned pale. Chala whispered. "Then who was the voice?" Beneath the palace, the killer's body began to hum again, louder this time. The vibranium in its skin stretched thin, revealing fractured patterns beneath it. Not circuits. Language. Shuri magnified them on her display. The markings were DNA strands rewritten with words. And those words matched an ancient Wakandan dialect long forbidden, the tongue of pre-vibranium tribes, used only in rituals of exile. She translated the sequence. Return the dead. Unchain the god. Silence the beast. Tony's voice cut in over the comms. "Wolverine wasn't the target," he said. "He was the key. The first test. They copied his pain, his rage, his regeneration, and turned it into code. A code that writes itself onto the earth." Okoye's voice joined. "Then who is the real target?" Stark hesitated. "Us." Across all 12 activation zones, the same phrase erupted on every surface. Walls, screens, glass, dirt, even water. Memory must be equalized. Shuri's pulse spiked. "They're not attacking us because we're enemies. They're attacking because we forgot." The killer's chest cavity pulsed one last time, and then collapsed inward, disappearing entirely. Not teleporting, erasing itself, as if its purpose was complete. And in that final blink, Wolverine's voice echoed across the room. Round 2. Wolverine's voice echoed from the void where the killer had collapsed. But he was dead, or should have been. Shuri scanned the air. It wasn't an audio file. It wasn't technology. It was resonance. Somehow Logan's consciousness, his instincts, his scars, his rage, had been embedded into the vibranium code. The Kifo weren't just copies. They were inheritors. The prototypes weren't hunting humans. They were hunting memory, rewriting the trauma buried inside Logan's past and unleashing it in real time. Carol hovered beside Chala. If Logan's voice is in the code, that means something's still alive. Shuri didn't look up. No, not alive. Preserved. that whisper wasn't him speaking. Tony finished her sentence through the comms. It was him activating. Across the globe, the Kifo went still. Then they howled. Not a scream, not a machine code, but a feral, mutant howl. Every frequency in every corner of the planet carried one sound: Wolverine's primal roar. And with it, claws. The Kifo changed. Each of their bodies mutated in real time, vibranium reshaping to match Logan's adamantium skeleton. Their fingers elongated, their backs arched, their bones twisted into the shapes of weapons no one had ever seen. They weren't machines anymore. They were becoming a hive of Logans, fused with alien intelligence and Wakandan tech, all guided by a war instinct that had never been tamed. Shuri's lab flickered. We gave them his healing. We gave them his memories. But we never thought. Chalia's fists clenched. We gave them his rage. In a flash of light, one of the new Kifo clones materialized on the battlefield outside the palace. It looked almost identical to Logan now, only taller, armored in black vibranium, with burning silver eyes and claws that never retracted. Okoye led the Dora Milaje in formation. If it bleeds, we kill it. But the clone didn't bleed. It absorbed. Every strike, every sonic blast, every kinetic attack vanished into its frame like feeding a storm. And then it stopped, and it spoke. But the voice wasn't the aliens. It was Wolverine's. Stand down. This world needs balance. And I was the imbalance. Chala stepped forward. You think you were the threat? The clone shook its head. No, you were. You forgot the pain. I was made from it. Now, I carry it so no one else will. The earth trembled. Every Kifo unit around the globe stopped fighting. They turned their claws inward. Tony screamed into the comms. They're going to wipe themselves. They're erasing the code. Shuri whispered, they're removing the memory. In one synchronized motion, 12 hives collapsed in on themselves, turning into light, folding into matter, until there was nothing left but silence. Wolverine's voice echoed one last time. You let me carry it all. Now I've passed it on. But they won't remember me. And that's how I win. The sky cleared. The obsidian patches across Earth faded to dust. And deep beneath Wakanda, where the killer's body once lay, a single dog tag remained. Logan. Tony picked it up hours later and slid it into his palm. He didn't say anything. Didn't need to. The whole world had watched Wolverine die in silence. But now they'd remember what he gave them. The rage he buried. The pain he carried. The history he never let go. And the final lesson. Some weapons fight to win. Others fight so no one else has to.